years left.
Okay, all right. Time out. What the fuck was that? Hey, what's up, dinguses? My name is Jerry Bees. I was going to react to Zach Bryan today, but yesterday I read all of this news. I'll put it up on screen right now, and decided not to capitalize on all that bullshit. So we're going to listen to Lorde instead. I am pretty familiar with Lorde's first album, Pure Heroin, right? Come on now. So good. And I don't know what it was, because looking at it, right? That album came out, oh, okay, so I guess it was a little while. You know, I was like 15 or 16 when Pure Heroin came out, and I loved it. It was so good, and, you know, this was back at least when I cared about the Grammys. I don't necessarily care about them anymore, but rightfully deserved. She got all the accolades that night, and plenty of others across the music industry, across music commentary. You know, she was a phenom, coming at it young. And then it was so long until the next album that I just completely lost interest. I completely lost interest. So this is kind of a big deal for 15-year-old Jerry Bees here, ladies and gentlemen. I remember painting fences and painting houses and building steps in a summer job when I was in high school, listening to Lorde, that first album, and 17 and 18-year-old Jerry Bees didn't get that. Was waiting for it. So we'll see how this goes. But before we get into it, do not forget, and I mean it, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to catch me live during one of these goofy little live streams, click one of the links down in the description. And if you can't make any of the live streams, but still want to support the channel, I do offer a Patreon where for $1 a month, you can check out all of my past live streams, full, unedited reactions for you on Patreon, $1. Remember those days when the McChicken was only $1? Weren't those great? I'm bringing it back around. We have 2017's Melodrama by Lorde. First song, Green light. Green light means go.
I do my makeup in somebody else's car. We order different drinks at the same bars. I know about what you did and I wanna scream the truth. She thinks you love the beach, you're such a damn liar. Well, those great whites, they have big teeth. Oh, they bite you, that you said that you would always be in love. But you're not in love no more. Did it frighten you, how we kissed when we danced on the light of floor? On the light of floor. Brand new sounds in my mind, but honey, me and you down every road. I'm waiting for it, that green light. 'Cause honey, I'll come get my things, but I can't let go. I'm waiting for it, that green light. Oh honey, I'll come get. I'm waiting for it, that green light. I want it.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, this is effectively the first new Lorde I've heard in forever. You know, because if I haven't heard it, it's new to me, right? I feel like in like thematically, intrinsically, it's easy to call a first song Green Light, right? I think that does a lot for me, at least as a listener, you know, like, okay, we are preparing to start something. We are now going, right? And a couple of things here lyrically that I kind of liked. So, here during, the second go around, we have all those rumors they have big teeth, not unlike all those sharks, right? Or those great whites, they have big teeth. Now, I don't know if great whites is a metaphor for something else here, but I kind of like, both can be dangerous, rumors and great whites. So, and then, I guess production-wise and structurally, we kind of get some peaks and valleys. And peaks and valleys within 4 minutes there. So, throwing me kind of off guard. I obviously didn't pause because I didn't really know where it was going to take me. And I'm kind of just trying to bob and weave through it. Great lies. No. Those great white, I don't know, because then that would imply that there's something other than beach here that she means. Now maybe beach here, and then the rumors they have big teeth. Maybe your social pool, or it was just a pretty good song. Yeah, in the damn ass beach. Yeah, it could just be a damn ass beach. Like his white lies come back and bite him in the ass. Maybe that would have come through easier for me if it, little white lies, but then that doesn't work with the beach metaphor. All right, moving on. Sober. Tool.
Oh God, I'm clean out of air in my lungs. It's all gone. Played it so nonchalant. It's time we delve to me. But my hips have missed your hips, so let's get to know the kicks. Will you sway with me? Go astray with me. You're queen of the weekend. Ain't a pill that could touch our rush. But what will we do when we're sober? What will we do when we're sober? These are the games of the weekend. We pretend that we just don't care, but we care. Oh God, I'm closing my teeth around this liquor wet lime. Midnight, lose my mind. But bodies all through my house. I know the story by heart. Jack and Jill get fucked up and possessive when they get dark. But my hips are missed your hips, so let's get to know the kicks. Will you sway with rush? But what will we do when we're sober? These are the games of the weekend. We pretend that we just don't. We feel it, it's daylight, we're jaded. We know that it's so in the morning. You'll be dancing with us. Oh, dancing with us. Oh, you'll be dancing with us. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Dancing with us. Us.
Okay, so I think between at least confirmed, this may have been said and I just wasn't paying attention. Tell me if I'm wrong, but at least on this channel, between Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, and now Lorde, between 3 acts that Jack Antonoff has helped to produce, this one, it's a little bit more disembodied production-wise and structurally. She goes up into that falsetto, and then it feels like, like the very next line, bass and the drums kind of kill out real quick, and then she's talking real low. And I feel like that's really fitting to the idea I already had, of Lorde in my mind. She's definitely not like everybody else, or at least, and then this is going back to, when I was listening to the shit back in 2013. And because of that, it's making it pretty hard to pause, like at any which place, I'm definitely not a Lorde professional in that regard, right? I don't know maybe when to expect, oh, okay, I can pause it here and kind of recalibrate things. Decent thing that she's touching upon here, that some people, when they're sowing their oats, start to feel a little loose, take a little something, and then you wake up with that post-perk clarity or something. I don't know. Oh, yeah, and then obviously the fucking horns, right, everybody? The Jack Antonoff horns. Though I will say about Jack Antonoff's horns, now that I've listened to him enough, and I kind of know his trademarks. He has like one horn sound, and I'm gonna keep listening to it just see that if I can see, if there's a little bit more bass in those horns right there. But no, he knows it. They're in the middle of the mix. They're apparent. They're coming in to help out the rhythm. All right. Moving on here.
A couple rebel Top Gun
Homemade
pilots
Dynamite.
flying with nowhere to be. Don't know you super well, but I think that you might be the same as me. Behave abnormally. Our rules, our dreams, we're blind. Blowing shit up with homemade dynamite.
I called that one. You got me hooked.
Get inspired. Blowing shit up with homemade dynamite. I guess we're partying, so let's let things come out of the woodwork. I give you my best, I tell you all my best lies. See me rolling, showing someone else love. Hands into your t-shirt, now I think you're awesome, right? Our rules, our dreams. Now you know it's really gonna blow. Our rules, our dreams, we're blind. Blowing shit up with homemade dynamite. Our rules, our dreams, we're blind. Blowing shit up with homemade dynamite. Our friends, our drinks, we get inspired. Blowing shit up with homemade dynamite.
So it seems like the themes of Sober have kind of carried on. Like, we are living our best lives by engaging in otherwise self-destructive behavior here, right? I think the crown jewel of this song is just going to be blowing shit up with our homemade, and I quote here, the dynamite, right? That's just catchy as all hell. I liked the more, at least compared to the first two songs here, this one's a little bit more straightforward as far as structure is concerned. I don't know. This one was just a party. Moving on here, folks. The Louvre.
Well, summer slipped us, our hands overboard. I am your sweetheart, psychopathic crush. Drink up your movements, still I can't get in. I get caught up just for a minute, but lover, you're the one to my chest. Broadcast the boom, 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 and make them all dance to it. Broadcast the boom, 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 and make them all dance to it. I think progresses, I call and you come through. Blow all my friendships to sit in hell with you, but we're the greatest. Rush at the beginning. I get caught up just for broadcast the boom, 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 and make them all dance to it. Broadcast the boom and make them all dance to it. Broadcast the boom, 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 and make them all dance to it.
Okay. So this is the first time this album that we've had a place to pause. So I will be going back a couple seconds here because I know that we're about to kind of transition into another movement. The way that the low bass kind of came through here during this part really met the left side of my head quite well. And I'm excited to see where it goes because, I mean, I think her delivery goes without saying. I mean, it's very unique how she just can go from this, like, breathy kind of lower voice and then hit those like really smooth notes. There's those couple sections where, the vocal tracks are layered on top of each other and you're kind of just in this dream space here. This is hilarious. But we're the greatest. They'll hang us in the Louvre down the back, but who cares? Still the Louvre, right? It's so trancy. Yeah. Trancy would be a way to put it, but I'm excited to kind of see where we go from here with it. Yeah, thematically, or not thematically, sonically, this is one to just mellow out. I think, lyrically what this song does pretty well, and I think it kind of goes without saying whenever you listen to a song about love, or falling in love, or becoming infatuated with somebody, whatever, right? You know that experience inspired the artist to make that song, but here it's very meta because, but lover, you're the one to blame. All that you're doing, can you hear the violence? Megaphone to my chest, broadcast the boom, boom, boom. And to me, megaphone to my chest, broadcast the boom, boom, boom means that in that moment where she's with that person, she's like, oh, I'm gonna write a song about you and I'm gonna let everybody know. Like, I like that little perspective there. I feel like she's kind of inviting us into her thought process a little bit there. Maybe I'm reaching. I don't know. But that's what I'm going to go with because it makes me like it. You can't tell me. You can't tell me I'm wrong. Liability.
Baby really hurt me, crying in the taxi. He don't wanna know me, says he made the big mistake of dancing in my store. She's so hard to please, but she's a forest fire. I do my best to meet her demands, playability. You're a little much for me. So they pull back, make other plans. I understand, I'm a large for it. Everyone. The truth is, I am a toy that people enjoy till all of the tricks don't work anymore. You're a little much for me. You're a liability. You're a little much for me. So they pull back, disappear into the sun. You're all gonna watch me disappear into the sun.
As far as this song goes, ladies and gentlemen, we needed a Lorde piano only album. Produced exactly like how that was produced. Her vocals are right up in front, and it feels like she's right in my ear. I don't know which line it was, but I think it's right here.
She's so hard to please, but she's a forest fire.
That right there. That's her accent, right? She's from New Zealand? Yeah, okay. So I remember people saying that, her accent in this album in particular, it comes out just really well in some songs. And right there, it definitely did. Yeah, that one just kind of two chiller ones in a row. Not to say that, she's necessarily known for huge club bops or anything like that. But can we give some congratulations, some applause, admiration to this line delivery right here.
I'm a little much for it. Everyone.
Like is it the greatest of all time? No, but it's interesting, and I like that approach. I just really like that approach there. Because to me, this is a very, solemn kind of song. You're getting fairly bad news, and you're experiencing shit that isn't great. But just knowing there's that sense of humor there, at least to me, right? Or perhaps you're feeling like that. You're feeling lonely. You got that news. You're stumbling over your own goddamn words. That can happen. Hard Feelings, Loveless. Okay, a little bit of a longer song, maybe a two,
Go back and tell it.
Sounded like Royals for a second.
Please could you be tender? And I will sit close to you. Feelings. These are what they call hard feelings of love. Sleepers and fevers all leave us right here in the cold. Alone. I used to care about you. These days, we kiss and we keep busy. The waves come after midnight. I call from underwater. Why even try to get right when you've outgrown a lover? The whole world knows but you. It's time to let go of this endless summer afternoon. Hard feelings. These are what they call hard feelings.
Okay, all right. Time out. What the fuck was that? I mean, that was objectively really cool to listen to. But I like, I'm listening, I'm like, what the fuck does that sound like? And the closest thing I can think is like some like hard sci-fi like alien sounds. Like I'm thinking about like the monster from Super 8 or like Cloverfield or something like that. Does that make any sense at all? And like I always wonder how, song or sound techs make sounds like that, and that's kind of brought back again because I really want to know what the hell that was. How much of that was digital, how much of that was modulated, how much of that was just simply maybe rubbing a rubber glove over a cello or something. I don't know. Now, up until that point, I was going to say this. Somebody said earlier, and I hadn't really thought about it until now, and I had recognized it a little bit, I suppose, but as far as like now that I'm like really thinking about it, with Lorde now being the third artist that I've reacted to on this channel that's been, at least in this project, heavily produced by Jack Antonoff, I am starting to hear so many similarities between everybody. So as I'm reacting, I keep calling back to those times that I've either listened to Taylor Swift, and Taylor Swift primarily I'm getting bigger vibes of. And I suppose if I'm comparing the two, Lorde is in good company. But I think as I'm reacting to it, I might be missing out. Like, no. We put your Swiftie blockers on. Just focus on Lorde. Just focus on this a little bit more. So that's kind of what I'm going through listening to this one. But it was all of that was broken up very nicely by that transition. So I don't know if this is where it's going to transition into the Loveless side of the song, but we'll see.
But I still remember everything, how we drift buying groceries, how you dance for me. I'll start letting go of little things till I'm so far away from you, yeah.
What is this tape? This is my favorite tape.
Bet you wanna rip my heart out. Bet you wanna skip my calls now. Guess what? I like that. 'Cause I'm gonna let
bringing us back down. Okay, so yeah, you know, in full transparency here, this is an interesting one to listen to because on one hand, I'm not absolutely loving the necessarily just like the beat or the music end of things, but the production, especially in this one, is showing up in like these bright flashes of moments, and then also how she's structuring these songs is like somebody, you know, she's keeping me on my toes. She's keeping me on my toes. And then also conceptually here, folks. Conceptually, the album is titled Melodrama, right? Not melodramatic. Melodrama, right? You know, maybe going back to my point where, you know, it's like, oh, okay, I'm not mainly in the music's pocket, but the music's doing really well for the concept here. And so far, you know, we kind of get started out with like, okay, I'm going, let's do some drugs, let's get into fucking car accidents, holy shit, I love you. And then these two are, it's like, oh wait, there's another side to this. We got to know the good so we know how bad the bad feels, because there's no more good. Okay, this is Sober 2, Melodrama.
No, you won't remember in the morning when I speak my mind. Lights are on and they've gone home, but who am I? Oh, how fast the evening passes, cleaning up the champagne glasses. We told you this was melodrama. Oh, how fast the evening passes, cleaning up the champagne glasses. The terror and the horror, when we wonder why we bother. Whoa. Whoa, and the terror and the horror, gun lights and the holy sick divine nights. Whoa, don't talk about us, all the lovers, how we kiss and kill each other. Whoa, don't talk about us and discover how we kiss and kill each other. Whoa.
All right, so I think this is another example going forward where conceptually this is working for me because, and it's a great reprise or sequel within the album, calling back to Sober, because it's like, okay, this, you know, fuck it, you know, we won't deal with this till we're sober, you know. maybe I'll kind of hate you then, and we're kind of getting the aftermath of that here. Where, you know, it's like, shit, this feels great in the moment, but here this is not working out, and talk about time wasted, right? But yeah, 7 songs into an 11-track album. Like I said, you know, I don't know, just like the music isn't calling my name so much, but I think it's more of the heady bits, which is kind of carrying this album here for me. I think she's laying down these concepts pretty well. I will say this, there's no reason that Sober Part 2, Sober 2 Melodrama, parentheses, should have a disproportionate amount of plays compared to the other songs on this album. And I know it's only Spotify. It's only Spotify, but, you know, I think I'd say that thematically, conceptually, that was one of the stronger songs so far. Maybe it's a transition point. I don't know. But for me, that one worked a lot. We got Writer in the Dark here.
Break the news, you're walking out to be a good man for someone else. Sorry, I was never good like you. Stood on my chest and kept me down. Bet you rue the day you kissed a rider in the dark.
She's pissed off and I'm scared.
I am my mother's mother's child, I love you till my stumble on a secret power. I find a way to be without you. When you see me, will you say I've changed? I ride the subway. Bet you rue the day you kissed a rider in the dark. Now she's gonna play and sing and lock you in her heart.
Again, it's these like my wish of just getting a Lorde piano album is coming true here. I mean, not so much all of the last song, I guess, but like Liability and Rider in the Dark here, I don't know. I'm finding a stronger gravitation towards these two, and it's not like she's slowing these down. Like all of it's, you know, it's at its own pace and it takes its time, and I think that's true for all the tracks on the album so far. But it's something to where it's just her and the piano that's just so much more inherently intimate. But I think she takes advantage of that very well. Do we know who she's talking about? I need the tea. You guys are usually good for the tea. We do. Well, then tell me who. Oh, you're mean. She had a nobody artsy BF. Oh, a turkey. Some random guy she dated for a while. Well, then after a while, they don't become so random, I think.
In my head, I play a supercut of us. All the magic we gave off, all the love we hadn't lost. Crush, be a violent overnight rush, make you crazy over my touch. But it's just a supercut of us. Supercut of us. Oh, it's just a supercut of us. Because of the moments I play in the dark, we were wild and fluorescent. Come home to my heart. In your car, the radio up. In your car, the radio up. Oh, it's just a supercut of us. Supercut of us. But it's just a supercut of us. 'Cause in my head, I do everything right. When you call out,
Just you and the piano, girl. Let it shine.
all the moments I play in the dark, I'm fluorescent. Come home to my heart. In my head, I do
Proper.
everything right.
Proper shit right there.
When you call out,
Okay. So, a couple things to talk about here. You know, I don't think it's so specific to this song, but I think it's something to be said about just, you know, as society advances and we come up with new words and phrases to refer to things, that's inevitably going to get introduced into music. And, you know, the concept of the supercut, you know, Family Guy supercut. That's more of a compilation, but you get my point, right? Where maybe, you know, instead of a playlist, you get a supercut just of a bunch of crap, right? And using that as a concept, you know, the concept of the supercut, like, oh, yeah. No, when I think about a certain person, it's like a supercut in my head. And so just immediately I can relate to that because I'm already familiar with the concept of the supercut, and, oh, that's actually a decent little way to put that, I think. I thought that this tied up quite well here at the end, and especially as we move on. Where is the part?
come home to my heart.
That was cool. I liked that. Coming back to me with that, just her and the piano, and then they deke me out again, bring me back up off of it. You know, and for something that's like, you know, poppy, you know, or something I thought was pop, this definitely, you know, I didn't really have any expectations at all. And after, you know, listening to the album before, and this is, you know, close to 10 years ago, over 10 years ago at this point, this is definitely still in her ballpark. But, you know, you kind of combining pop with like ambient vibe seems to really be the kitchen that she cooks in. That she's got a solid command of that shit, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, hold up. The end of this song feels like she's replaying all of their moments from another room on a TV, super muffled and eventually fading into nothing. I like that quite a bit. I do definitely agree that there are these moments where we're just getting slivers into her headspace. So actually, you know, in one of the songs, I didn't call it out exactly, but, you know, she's talking about a specific drug, pseudo whatever the hell, right? And then there's that moment in the Louvre that I really liked. And so we're just getting like these little moments where just these little things that maybe pass by in your day-to-day life, that she's capturing, not completely photographically, but she's a very sentimental person. Very sentimental person. This song included everything that has come before it. So, and as we lead up to the end of the album, I think that works quite well. So, and it's big pluses to how the songs themselves are structured, but this album is structured quite well too. The thought of how the album has flowed, I think, was really at the top of their minds when they were cooking this, right? Putting it in the oven, but then taking it out to, you know, rebase it and shit like that. It's a process. It's a process. All right, Liability, Reprise.
I'm a liability. I'm a liability. Much for me. You. And all of the shit that we harbor make all of the kids in the choir sing. Ooh.
I love that so much.
This is the party.
That was so
Maybe
good.
the tears on my thought you were. Liability. But you're not what you thought you were. Thought you were.
Oh, why did that hit so hard? Like, come on. And, you know, I don't think I've been talking about her voice enough in this, but it's very true in this song. Like, dude, a lot of people got to smoke for like at least 5 years to get like,
but you're not what you thought you were.
Like, you know, never smoke cigarettes, but I think there's times where you can hear where a singer-songwriter employs the rasp a lot. And I don't know what they're doing down in New Zealand. I don't know if she was like chucking fat darts at 11 years old. But I mean, if that's just command, if that's just by the grace of God, I think it works out quite well. And the fact that we're calling back to 2 songs here, you know, and this is kind of the recap part of the video, right? So kind of as a way to hype me up for the last song, I tend to give a recap for the album as a whole. And I haven't received negative comments on it yet, so I'm going to keep doing it. Like I said, this conceptually, thematically, and lyrically, this is like quite something, because, you know, these first 3 songs, you know, Green Light, Drank, Boom, right? If I just had like one syllable ways to describe these first 4 songs, but then how, you know, these moments between drinking and maybe self-destructive behavior or just being infatuated with somebody can leave room for some more unsavory emotions that leave you a little melodramatic. You know, and I do like that point that somebody brought up earlier about maybe this is kind of happening at a party. And now that, you know, if that's the case, if we're going to use that way of looking at this album, I see the album cover as a way of, like, you get home from the party and you're just reeling from this shit. It looks like this. It looks a lot like this album cover. I've been there. So I don't know. You guys let me know if I'm cooking with that interpretation here. Yeah, I guess not to break any hearts. It's not necessarily the music itself that I'm really vibing with here. It's been the other things, which is kind of nice because it was like kind of, you know, around here where I kind of started to pick up on that. Now and obviously I get why people like it. You know, I ain't dogging on Miss Lorde. She has synesthesia, and her and Jack got in an argument at a session because the song didn't sound purple enough. That's what I'm fucking talking about. See, I love shit like that. That's awesome. So we got one more song left. Last song, Perfect Places. She loves the kick drum and
Every
claps.
night I live and die, feel the party to my bones. Watch the wasters blow the speakers, spill my guts beneath the and we're dancing. I'm alright. It's just another graceless night. Are you lost enough? Have another drink, get lost in us. This is how we get this so be. All of the things we're taking, 'cause all of our hits are perfect places. Every night I live and die, meet somebody, take 'em home. Let's kiss and then take off our clothes. The night spent off our faces, trying to find these perfect places. What the fuck are perfect places anyway?
Ladies and gentlemen, I think Melodrama by Lorde is a perfect example of why listening to albums as an album is the way to go. Because there were songs that I liked a lot. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, like, okay, Liability, I think you put Supercut, Sober 2. Some of these slower songs had me going, like, when it's just her and the piano and you get this sense of intimacy here. But as an album, you can grab the concepts, and with this album in particular, it's cyclical. It's a cycle. And I really, really like how she ended this. Like, a lot. Because we're going back to the scenes that we saw in the first 3 songs, where it's messy. Maybe we're making bad choices, but hey, we're young. we got shit to hide, and this is our getting away from that. Proceed with being sad, start it up all again. It's tying that knot back home, which I think sealed the deal on this being an album that you probably like sure, you can listen to these individual songs if you really want to, but I think you're really missing out on the full experience there because there is a lot to go into. And it's accessible too. I think she does, and actually her and Jack do a really good job at laying down these concepts lyrically and musically with having enough interest and intrigue, but not enough to scare people away. Still staying within that little pop pocket, as I like to call it. Doing some interesting things with structure. You know what? I'm going to say this. This album, it works. It just works. I'd say, you know, and as far as Jack Antonoff doing Jack Antonoff, this one as an album, and I think maybe Lorde did a lot of the heavy lifting there as far as like, okay, I'm really grabbing what you're putting down here. In her use of her vocals, she gets that rasp. She can get angelic. This is Jack's production peak. He hasn't I think so far this is probably the most interesting. If it's an album and it's got Jack's stamp on it, this is the one. If you're not talking about all the fun albums, right? Because he did all those. Nothing can create the absolute highs of this album coming out when I was 20, feeling like she was reading my mind. It's like the little details you know about your friends, right? Couple that with, you know, the more intimate moments that we have on this album. It's a very personal endeavor. It's a very personal endeavor, ladies and gentlemen. A cyclical endeavor. An intimate cyclical endeavor. And endeavoring cyclical intimately. But hey, let me know what you thought of Melodrama, and let me know what you thought about my takes. If you want to catch me live sometime, click one of the links down in the description. And I mentioned at the start of the video, just give me $1, please, for like half a McChicken. Dude, McChickens are $2 now. Like, it's bullshit.
Diggity dog. Breaking. Diggity dog. Shark.